Chafing Armor Podcast, Episode 24, Into the Mist. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and legally sane Dungeon Master, Michael Corley. And with me today is Izzy. Izzy, tell me who you are playing today.
I am playing Morezimu Gra, a half-orc barbarian who couldn't care less about sharkmen. Doesn't really like them, though.
No, especially after the damage they have done unto you. And also with us today is Dare. Dare, please inform everyone who you are playing today.
I am playing Tix Birchmanson, a cleric who always swings for the knees.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing in the last one. I absolutely love that. I think that was my favorite part of the last one, and I thought all the mimic stuff was going to take the cake. And last but absolutely not least is James. James, tell everyone who you are playing.
Hey everybody, I'm James. I'm playing Penton Chalice, who is a spell scale sorcerer, and he's so shiny, so shiny.
He is. He is the scaliest of scaly boys, and he is here for adventure. And when we last left our adventurers, they had come onto a pirate ship. The shifter Osokai had leapt back to their ship for reasons unknown. But on the pirate ship, they found a prisoner who informed them that the chest was sometimes a mimic, while Penton carefully extracted the other half of the Rod of Seraphim. He was attacked, as all of them were, by two shark men, and they were able to defeat them, and in Tix's case, deleg one of them. And at that point, they looked out as they had done so, to find that they were coming close to land. And in fact, beyond the mist were trees growing out of the water. Now, what would y'all like to do?
I guess go get out of the ship. I mean, not get on top of the ship, get on the deck, and look out. I think we're inside right now.
Yes, you were just inside the captain's quarters, which is where the chest/mimic is being kept. You probably don't want to be in there anyway. One, it's got a horrifying mimic that is eating one of the shark people. You also have a dead or dying shark man missing the bottom half of his legs, who's bleeding to death. I should also note, speaking of bleeding, that Morezi has taken 15 points of damage. She'd actually taken a little bit more, but I can't find my notes
Well, I
from
think I'm at,
a few earlier.
looks like my note card says I'm at 22 HP.
Okay, so you have taken quite a decent amount of damage, and particularly that last wound that drove you into the wall.
Yeah,
is,
I'm probably limping,
unpleasant.
maybe clutching my chest a bit. He didn't stab through me, right? Like, there was not something coming out of my back?
No, your scale armor kept that from happening.
Sexy.
But it did burst through some of the scales and did pierce into your abdomen.
Ooh, that must be helpful.
Yes, it's not great. So as you step outside, you do see that you are surrounded by heavy mist. You are still in the Sand Swallow Sea, but you get the sense that you are closer to land. If nothing else, the fact that these dead trees are rising up out of the water.
You seem very interested in talking about these dead trees. Can I make like a perception, or like I guess an investigation check to see if I can figure out any defining features of these dead trees?
I would love for you to do that.
Alright, let's hope she got good eyes. She rolled a 3, so...
She ain't got good eyes.
They're big. I think they're kind of brown.
Yes, they are definitely brown. You are slightly distracted by the liquids leaking out of your belly.
Yeah. Yeah.
This wants to take a spin.
I'm going to pull a nerd here because I know for a fact that trees that are in salt water would be kind of a pale color because of the salt content. Just so you know.
Interesting.
Dork. Kidding. We're playing Dungeons.
Well, and I will go with that. This is a salt sea, absolutely, and you do indeed see that is the case.
Okay. But we pretty much can't see anything past that because of the fog, right?
Well, you're welcome to make an investigation.
Well,
check
I certainly
or a
want to see if we're
perception check
gonna.
if you'd
Like to see if we're gonna smash into land or something. That'd be nice to know. Let me take a look here. Oh no! A 2's not going to do anything for me.
You're just like, everybody, look at the colors. Look at the colors. Come on, those colors are awesome.
So pretty.
Tix, do you want to give it a go?
Sure. I'll give it a look-see. That is a natural 20. Booyah.
Oh, at least one of us is competent.
Tix is none of you are sailors. And by the way, I had intended to get to this earlier, but just the way the campaign went, I didn't get to. None of you are sailors. None of you can sail a vessel with any great accuracy. There were sailors on your ship. There are other people on your ship that were sailing it, but there are no more on this ship, with the exception of the one you have locked away, and Pharaoh, the extremely hungry thief that you have above ground with you. But Tix, you've done the most sailing, particularly because when you left your homeland, you left some of the more gnomish concentrated. You did not go through the Sand Swallow Sea because it's really, really dangerous, and only people who are really trying to get across and have precious cargo tend to go across here. But you just have a better feel for it than the others, and you can tell a few things. One, you think far off in the distance you can make out land. You're not 100%, it's dark and it's foggy, but there's a couple of other things. One, with this natural 20, you definitely do not think the ship itself it would be a good idea to take it there. There are, smaller ships attached to this ship, as any large pirate vessel would have. The other thing that you notice is there appear to be bodies attached to some of these trees.
Attached, you say?
Yes. Not moving bodies.
Dead bodies.
Hanging?
Yes.
Hanging bodies? Hanging?
They are in some way strapped or hanging. They are somewhat in the distance right now. You would definitely run the calculation that they are dead.
Okay.
All right. Anybody know how to stop a boat before we hit land?
I believe we need to drop the anchor.
Anchors are
Seems
good,
about
I
right.
guess.
There should
Anybody
be
know
a
where the
belaying
anchor
pin
is?
attached to a rope.
Oh, you know some words.
Someone's been using Google.
I am an
I think
experienced
that's-
sailor.
Yes. While you do not have that skill, we can say that Tix has some passing knowledge with this. So if you want to do so, you most certainly can. It is not a difficult process to drop the anchor.
I look at the tangle of knots around the fore deck of the ship and see if I can figure out which belaying pin is tying up the chain for the anchor.
And you find that right away. One of the things that you notice is, while this is a dastardly pirate ship, is like many pirate ships of old, it's very, very orderly. This is not a disgusting, nasty ship. This is a very well kept ship, and it is you actually are expecting to find the ropes all tangled, and they are not. They are in very good order.
They're not.
It is very easy to find. I totally did that on purpose.
Punish the DM.
I live with him. I'll strangle him while he sleeps.
No. Punish.
Yes.
Oh, punish. I get it.
Oh,
So
man.
you are able to pull that pin, and the anchor immediately falls. And it does not go as far as the rope could go out. Clearly, you've been coming closer and closer to land, but you do feel the, stop, boom, and you are able to tie off the remainder of the rope to keep it from going further and for y'all to strip.
Well, thank goodness for small favors. Now, Morezi, would
Yeah.
you like me to do a little healing on you?
That would be lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Then you say thank goodness for small favors, because gnome.
Padum-pum. Alright. You are healed for 16 points.
Ooh,
That
nice.
is a lot, and
Nice.
that's even. I'm back to full health, baby.
Good.
Absolutely. You are very glad. You've had a few other opportunities throughout the months that y'all have been together to feel the healing touch of Tix, and you are very welcome for it because you were not feeling great.
It's like getting ASMR, but in your whole body or something.
Just so my companions know,
Great.
because
explanation.
of what we have done, I have 2 spell slots left.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Normally in our campaign, y'all have ample time to rest. However, this has been uninterrupted combat for the last 2 episodes. So both you and I believe Penson as well are a bit on the depleted side.
Yeah, I was just checking here to see where I'm at.
You hear Pharaoh, and he says, hey, I appreciate all that y'all have done. Do you mind if I go to the galley and get some food? Is that okay?
Please do.
Okay.
Eat up,
He's like,
small man. You need all the help you can get.
I'm feeling a bit peckish myself.
He scrabbles off and slips a little bit on the blood that's oozing out from the cabin, and you can hear that still methodical crunching sound as the mimic creature is slowly consuming one of the shark bodies.
Yeah, let's probably follow him. Just a suggestion.
What's that?
Let's follow him. Just a suggestion.
Go get some
I
food.
was talking in character voice. I'm trying so hard.
No, you're doing good.
Well, I mean, just mostly because of the mimic. Don't like that guy.
Yeah, it would be better, and we'll let him finish his meal in peace.
Plus, I'm kind of hungry too, so let's see what's down there.
Okay. It has been a little while since y'all have eaten. Of course, it is the middle of the night, and you make your way down into the galley, which is just a little, basically right instead of left, towards where you left Punchy McBeardface in the brig. And it's a very tidy little gallows, and there's a long table in the center, and there's a kind of cupboard to the side where you see various items that are easily stored, salted pork and things like that.
Where's the beer?
Unsurprisingly, there is a great deal of alcoholic beverages. Also, unsurprisingly, it is behind a locked cabinet.
I am going to use my axe to break open the locked cabinet.
Now, just give me a little roll there. Give me a little attack.
That is a 14.
And roll for damage.
First attack roll of the day.
On an unarmed
Drunks
cabinet.
trying to get their booze.
And that is 6 points of damage.
I'm going to say that pops open that lock, or at least damages it enough that you can kind of pry it open. And inside is a wealth of alcoholic beverages. Again, not surprisingly, it's mostly rum. But there is actually beer and several other items. You get the feeling from the eclectic nature that this has been collected from many different ships that have been pilfered throughout the months.
Excellent. It's always good to have choices.
Are there any apples or anything? I don't know about all that salt. It's not really good for me.
You do actually find some dried apples, yes. And by the way, to the side, you hear this mad gnawing as Pharaoh is just... He is just tearing into a big piece of salted pork and just devouring it. And just is oblivious to the rest of y'all. You do not know how long it's been since he... and he's got a little pitcher of water that he's drinking from.
I disconnected, but now the only pressing matter is, did the beer get unlocked?
The beer got unlocked.
Yes, the beer did get unlocked.
Orcus as she is, Morezi takes like a giant thing. It doesn't even affect her.
No, it does not. At least not right away. You take a big old swig from this big old thing of beer, and y'all feel pretty good right now. And that's when you hear a voice on the wind up above, and it's singing, "Among the young ones who follow the sea, sing way, hey, blow the land down."
Well, Pharaoh, you better finish your meal. It sounds like we're going to have company real soon.
Dude, sirens, count me in. Or I guess that would be in character voice.
He takes one last giant gulp of the salted pork and reaches down and he pulls out a knife that's used for eating and is holding it readying it, not towards y'all, by the way.
I bet we can find a butcher knife that's a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, you can. If you want to look into where the actual cooking area is, such as it is, there is both a butcher knife and just a very long knife that you might use for gutting a fish.
Hand those to him.
Okay, he thanks you very much, and he sticks the butcher knife in his what's left of his belt, and is holding the long knife at the ready.
Speaking of knives, just to point it out so that if I utilize this later, it's not something I just, and also I totally have had this. Marezi totally has a knife in her boot.
No, she
Just
does.
saying.
You have said so in the past. You have a knife in your boot, as well as I believe you have a bolo as well.
There's a snake in my boot. Oh, I forgot about that. I haven't used that.
Yes, you do have a bolo as well to trip people up, along with your giant halberd. Because sometimes it's not very convenient to use a halberd. In fact, if you were to try to use it down in this galley, I would give you disadvantage. Oh, by the way, I do want to say, Tix, you have a point of inspiration.
Hey!
I wanted to give that to you for two reasons. One, because during the initial battle, you did a wonderful job playing support. Instead of just coming in with your axe, you were supporting all of the other characters. You were using your sanctuary effectively. And then also in the last episode, that was just awesome, chopping the legs off of the shark. So you have that one point that you can use at the time of your choosing that you will let you roll twice for a particular roll. You just have to announce it beforehand.
Okay. When those nasty ones sneak up on me.
Exactly. But you do have to say you're using it before you roll. That's the only thing.
Before I roll the second time?
Well, the first time. You have to say, I'm going to use my inspiration point. So you can't wait until you roll a 1 and then say, no, I want to use my inspiration.
Oh.
You do have to say,
Okay.
I'm going to use my inspiration now. It's just when you really want something to succeed, it's much more likely to do so.
Okay. That's fine.
And in the distance again, y'all hear the refrain coming in and saying, "Way, hey, blow the man down."
Well, let's
What
get
do you
up
say?
on deck and see what there
What's
is
going
to
on?
see again.
You climb up on the deck, and in the distance, this is much closer, by the way, than the bodies that you see in the far distance. Because otherwise, y'all would have, you're not going to miss bodies that are just right in front of you. There is a small boat, a little dinghy type away landing boat, and on it you see something. By the way, as y'all come out, the whole sea just does a big rock. It's not as bad as the one that broke you apart from your original ship, but you sense that this is kind of similar. Something is going on out deep in the ocean. Just FYI. But back to this smaller boat, you see someone that you recognize. If you recall, there was a gentleman who had a two-handed sword, and he was the one who unwittingly chopped the head off Captain Cinder, because Osokai threw Captain Cinder at his two-handed sword.
Right.
And during the course of the battle, along with Captain Cinder's head, this gentleman was actually thrown off the boat. That was the last you saw of him. But he is now standing all by himself on this dinghy. He has a necklace on. And you don't need any perception roll whatsoever. You recognize this necklace. It is the medallions that y'all had found way back earlier. The ones that were found on the squishy zombies.
Ooh, he dead.
And he is singing in a dull, monotonous tone. Way, hey, blow the man down. And you can see something happening towards where his feet are. Where his feet are, his clothes, skin, and bones are unraveling. I'm sorry, let me take that back. Everything except his bones are unraveling. Just imagine that everything else is becoming like a ribbon and is just undoing itself. Tix and Penton, I would like you to both make one to make a religion roll and the other one to make a arcana roll.
Okay.
That is a 17.
17, okay.
And I got a 15 on mine.
15. So that is essentially close enough for both of you. Neither of you have ever encountered anything like this, but you've heard stories from different areas. There are creatures called hags, and
Oh no.
there are many different kinds of hags, and none of them are good. All of them are very, very bad. But there's a particular kind of hag called a boo hag. One of the things that it does is it actually will hide or disguise itself as a human and pretend to be a human and also allow it to pass safely during the day, and then it actually can unravel its skin to reveal the hag underneath. And there are many, many stories about these. Neither of you have ever encountered a hag, thank goodness, but you recognize this is like hag magic. You both recognize that this is similar to that. But you don't think this is a hag. You think this is something that is being done to him rather than something he is doing himself. But his body is unraveling, and it is leaving a almost pristine skeleton underneath.
Pristine.
Does anyone want to do anything?
How
I would-
close are we?
Yeah.
Hey,
You are... Oh, go ahead.
I'm wondering if... Oh, actually, that closeness question would be a good thing to know for my next concept.
Okay. You are both about... you are all roughly 50 feet away. This is not that far away. You're actually not sure if this boat is from this ship or if it's from somewhere else. You do not know.
Well, if we have the high ground, there's a possibility with a good enough roll I could take one of those kitchen knives, try to throw it at that boy.
Yeah, you absolutely could try to do that. Now, 50 feet away, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, I don't really
hitting
know feet.
With a bow and arrow, you have a slightly better chance.
There's the things at the end
to
of your
throw-
legs.
To throw an improvised weapon at a person standing on a boat 50 feet away and gently rocking water, that would have to be a pretty good hit.
Maybe something else.
I think
I
this
am
might
going-
be Tix. Yeah, I think you might want to take this one.
I think I'm going to try and turn undead and see if that can disrupt the magic.
You hold out, and one more time, just because I love for you to explain these things to people, what is the symbol of your god?
My god, Garl Glittergold, the god of the gnomes, is a god of treasure and tricks. And so my holy symbol is a gold nugget. Just because that so enraptures so many people. And so I will hold that out and pray to Garl Glittergold that he will stop this magic, turn the undead, and free us from general ickiness.
I like to imagine that in the language of the gnomes that you end with, and general ickiness. And it's a strange thing that happens because you are repelling the undead, and you're not I'm not telling you what's happening, but it seems like this gentleman is literally being turned into the undead. but he's not completely undead yet. And so what actually happens is he falls off the boat. You think that whatever is happening to him stops, but you're not certain. But he literally just tips over and sploop, and he does not float up. He is gone.
He's going to come back at the end of the fight when we all have 5 health, and he's actually very spooky.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think she hit it on the head.
Yeah. 2 words. Skin whip.
Ew. Just writing down a note here.
Thanks. I'm giving you ideas. That's the last thing I wanted to do.
And in the distance, you see something. You're still too far away, but you see all of the figures. You think there's maybe about 10 of them or so on the various trees. They all begin to move.
Of course.
But they're not getting off the trees. Because that is what you, of course, the first thing you would think is that they're coming towards you.
No, they're just singing and dancing.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely
amazing. It turns into one of those spooky
if I
spooky Merry Melodies cartoons.
They do seem to actually be up there very similar to a scarecrow. But you think they're maybe gesturing. But you're still kind of far away to really see them.
Oh, they're flipping us off. That's not nice.
Well, do we dare to get closer?
We all float down here.
I mean, they're all tied up, so what are they going to do?
It's what they could do that is the question.
Pharaoh actually speaks up, and he says, I was, obviously a prisoner for quite a while, and I heard things. My understanding was that there was an argument on the ship. Some of the people said that they should bring, once they got whatever they wanted from you, that they should bring it back to land and sell it to somebody. And I never quite heard who that was, but it was somebody that they respected. And the other ones said that they needed to bring it to an island in the ocean. And I don't know if this is the island or not. I can barely see the land, but I just wanted to give you all as much information as I can. You saved my life, and I'll do anything you want. But just wanted to share that with you.
And I deeply appreciate that.
You don't know anything about sailing, do you?
I know a little bit. I don't think I could keep a ship this size going by myself, but I know a little bit. I could probably point it in the right direction for a while.
Because if this is the island, I don't think we want to take it there. I don't want to leave it on its own on the boat either.
Nope. Wonder where our boat is.
That's a good question.
There's no way for you to tell for sure. When you last saw it, you seem to be being separated. Literally that you were going in opposite directions. But where it is now, you have no idea.
Well, I suppose we can get one of the small boats
and take it to shore.
Go ashore.
At least until the fog clears, we can get a better idea of where we are.
And see if we have to deal with these dangling, gesturing things.
Certainly one thing is you don't have to go towards them. You can go out around them. It is an ocean after all. Though, of course, you could, get close enough to where you could see what they are. But,
that's what I was thinking.
You're not. It's not like it's not like a video game where you have to go in that exact direction. You are in an ocean.
Well, unfortunately, most boats are not made gnome size. So, Morezi, yes. Penton,
sure.
Well, I'm sure
you get to be my chauffeurs.
Joy.
Better be paying me.
Do you remember me healing your belly?
Good point.
Okay.
Well, let's hit it.
So let's go lower down one of the longboats and start paddling. Pharaoh, would you get in also?
Yeah. If you want me to come along, I'll be more than happy to. I don't really want to be on the ship alone with that mimic, and I also don't want to be alone out on this ocean. It doesn't seem super safe.
I think we left safe long behind, but let's see where we end up.
Where in general would y'all like to try to go?
Well, I'd like to get at least a little closer to these dangly folk and see what's going on there. Not close enough to really come into contact with them directly, but just to see what's happening better through the fog.
One thing I'd like to suggest is that when we get close to the dangly guys, we do it on the opposite side of the copse as, oh right, the zombie guy got blonked into the water.
I'm down with that.
My point still stands that we should do it on the opposite side because he's probably chilling underwater, doesn't need to breathe.
There could easily be a Pirates of the Caribbean situation going on, yes.
Yeah. Any horror
So,
movie.
y'all start, Morezi really is the one who's the powerhouse here, and so she is able to easily steer this boat with her powerful arms moving through the ocean. And as you get a little closer, it simply becomes obvious. All of you have low light vision, so you are able to see, even though it's very dark outside. First of all, to make out is that all of these bodies are all the Sharkmen. So they are not human or anything else. They are all the bodies of Sharkmen. And as far as you can tell, they are all corpses. They are all dead in one way or another.
And they
But
were moving.
as so often happens, yes, they are perpetually moving. And what they are all doing in unison is they are all gesturing for you to come closer.
No. No.
I'll give him a gesture right back.
Morezi gives them a long-standing greeting that is well known only in Dungeons & Dragons. And that I'm sure she doesn't know in the real life. Never done.
I think it cut out.
Right.
Pure and precious.
Right.
For nobody.
Pure and precious. Yeah, so let's just go like out and around and not near these dangly dudes.
Okay. So you start making your way towards around the dudes. And as you do, you can see the land for sure now. You're absolutely sure there is land in the distance. And again, there's about 10 of these shark guys. It's not that hard to just not go near them. It's like, nope,
Right.
you're somehow attached to those things, and I don't want to be near you. You can make your way around. By the way, as you go through the water, every once in a while, Morezi kind of does like a toomp, and you look over the side, gingerly, as I would imagine. You can see faces in the water now, and they are almost all shark people, though you do see a few humanoids of the good races. And you also see lots of skeletons in there as well. Whether that's from the dark magic that you saw before, or from the fact that they're in the water, you don't know. But none of them, as far as you can tell, seem to be taking any action against you.
Right.
And you come closer and closer to the land, and you hear a small, quiet voice saying, "Hello." And that's where we'll end episode 25. Who is calling for help? Is it a trap? Who is that under the water? Is this a ripoff of Lord of the Rings? Possibly! Though actually I was thinking of a horror movie I saw when I was a kid. But anyway, we'll find out all of those things and more very, very soon. Thank you all for joining me.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's
It's been a pleasure not being dead.
You're welcome.
And we will roll with you soon.